Miriam was only 17 when she left her small village to work as a housemaid in the city. Her parents were poor farmers, and her younger siblings depended on her. With hope in her heart and a small bag in her hand, she boarded the old bus that would take her to a new life. She was hired by the wealthy Adewale family. They lived in a huge white house with shiny floors, glass windows, and rooms too big for one person. To Miriam, it looked like a palace, but the beauty of the house did not match the hearts of the people inside it. From the very first day, Miriam was treated like she didn't matter. She was given a small room near the kitchen with no fan or window. Her bed was a thin mattress on the floor. Every morning, she had to wake up before the sun to sweep, wash, cook, clean, and serve. She was never allowed to eat at the table. She had to eat alone in the back of the house. Madam Adewale always shouted at her, even when Miriam did nothing wrong. If a glass broke, Miriam paid for it. If food burned, Miriam went hungry that night. She was never praised, never thanked. The children, who were just a few years younger than her, threw things at her and laughed when she tripped. They treated her worse than the family's dog. But Miriam never raised her voice. She kept her head down and did her work. At night, when everyone was asleep, she took out her small brown notebook and wrote in it. That notebook became her best friend. She called it her diary. In it, she poured out her pain, her fears, her anger, and her dreams. She wrote down every insult, every unfair punishment, every time she cried quietly while mopping the floor. For 5 long years, Miriam worked in that house. She grew from a scared village girl into a quiet, strong woman. She read newspapers that the family threw away and borrowed books from the driver who liked her spirit. She used her diary to practice writing and soon began telling her story as if she were writing for the world to read it. One rainy night, Miriam made a decision. She was going to leave. Not just the house, but the life that kept her small. She took her diary and her savings and left a note saying thank you. She didn't look back. She enrolled in adult evening classes and worked at a local restaurant during the day. Life was still hard, but she was free. Her diary grew thicker. She added pages of hope, stories from her past, and dreams for the future. She wrote as if someone, somewhere, needed to hear her story. Years passed. One day, a writing contest was announced on the radio. The theme was Voices of the Silenced. Miriam felt her heart beat faster. She took her diary, chose the strongest parts, and typed them into a story. She sent it in with little hope. But weeks later, her phone rang. She had won. Her story, The Diary of the Housemaid, was published and read across the country. People cried as they read her words. People who had never thought about housemaids before began to look at them differently. Miriam was invited to speak on radio stations, at schools, and at women's groups. She used her voice to speak for those who couldn't. The Adewale family heard her story too. They recognized the house, the rules, the cruelty. Their friends and neighbors whispered behind their backs. Madam Adewale tried to defend herself, but the damage was done. People saw them for who they really were. Miriam didn't speak out of revenge. She spoke for justice. She never mentioned their names. She wanted to bring change, not shame. She started a foundation to support young girls working as housemaids. She gave them a place to sleep, a chance to learn, and most of all, hope. Her once hidden diary was now a best-selling book. It sat on shelves in bookstores, in libraries, and in homes. It became a symbol of silent strength and quiet power. The moral of the story is simple, but powerful. Even the smallest voice can change the world. Miriam had nothing but a notebook and a dream, but she used them to speak her truth. She showed that no job is too low to produce greatness, that the way we treat others, especially those who serve us, matters more than wealth or power.